Around 4,500 years ago, one of the world's most advanced civilizations thrived on the Indian subcontinent, boasting multi-storied cities, covered drainage systems, and trade networks stretching from Mesopotamia to Oman. Yet, by 1900 BCE, it had mysteriously vanished, leaving almost no trace of its people. How could a society this sophisticated disappear without war, invasion, or a single written explanation? And why are modern archaeologists still baffled by their undeciphered script? Imagine walking through streets wider than Manhattan's alleys, past private wells and bathhouses, while merchants trade beads, pottery, and textiles, the hum of a bustling metropolis now buried beneath desert sand and farmland. Forget Aryan invasions, nuclear blasts, or epic battles from legends. The Indus cities didn't fall to enemies. Rivers dried up, floods came, and climate change silently tore their civilization apart, dismantling trade and fragmenting society. In this video, we'll uncover how the Indus Valley thrived in technology, equality, and global trade, and reveal the secrets that link its lost streets and symbols directly to modern life today. Imagine walking through streets wider than Manhattan alleys, past houses with private wells, courtyards, and multi-storied buildings, while merchants trade beads, pottery, and finely woven textiles. This wasn't a dream, it was real. Around 4,500 years ago, on the banks of rivers that no longer flow. And then, almost overnight, it vanished. No wars, no invasions, no grand catastrophes recorded, just silence. How could one of the most advanced civilizations the world had ever seen simply disappear? And why are their secrets still unsolved to this day? Stay with me, because what we're about to uncover will challenge everything you think you know about the ancient world. The story begins in 1826, when a British officer named Charles Mason stumbled upon strange ruins in what is now Pakistan. At first, he assumed these remnants were nothing more than the leftovers of Alexander the Great's campaigns. Little did he know, he had uncovered a civilization thousands of years older, a civilization the world was not ready to understand. Fast forward 30 years to 1856, the British were building a railway across the region. Bricks from ancient structures were torn from their foundations and crushed under locomotives, their stories literally ground into dust. Entire sections of cities like Harappa disappeared before anyone realized their significance. Even the first formal excavations were plagued by misunderstanding. Early archaeologists didn't see what we now recognize as a network of sophisticated urban centers. They saw old mud and stone. It would take decades before the true magnitude of this lost civilization would be revealed. The breakthrough came in 1920 under the leadership of Sir John Marshall, with Indian archaeologists Daya Ram Sani and R.G. Banerjee by his side. Together, they uncovered the sprawling ruins of cities that seemed almost impossibly advanced for their time. Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, Lothal, Kalibangan, Dholavira. What they found was staggering. Streets laid out in perfect grids, houses built with uniform bricks, sophisticated drainage channels, and public infrastructure that rivaled anything in Europe centuries later. Lothal even had what is believed to be the world's first dockyard, where ships once navigated tides and trade routes that stretched across continents. Pause for a moment, try to imagine the scene. A bustling city, streets intersecting at precise right angles, children playing with toys in courtyards, merchants conducting business across rivers and seas. This was not a primitive settlement. This was a global hub of culture, technology, and commerce. Step inside the houses, and the attention to detail is astonishing. Most homes had multiple rooms, private wells, and bathing areas. Courtyards served as communal spaces where families gathered.
Yet they also provided ventilation and light, an urban planning principle still studied today. But it wasn't just private homes. The cities prioritized public infrastructure. Covered drainage systems ran beneath streets, carrying waste safely away, centuries ahead of even the Roman Empire. Multi-story buildings lined the avenues, each brick carefully sized to create a sense of uniformity and order. And in Mohenjo-Daro, the Great Bath stood as the centerpiece, a massive waterproof pool used for ritual or communal purposes, showing a society invested in hygiene, religion, and public life rather than just palaces or monuments.
Think about it. A civilization where cleanliness, order, and community were literally built into the streets and homes. A civilization where society worked together to sustain urban life on a scale most historians didn't even believe existed in 2500 BCE. And yet, despite all this brilliance, something went horribly wrong. The rivers that nourished these cities began to shift, trade routes dried up, homes were abandoned, streets that once bustled with life fell silent. In the next section, we'll uncover the real reasons behind the Indus Valley Civilization's mysterious collapse, and trust me, it's nothing like what you've been told in history books. Life in the Indus Valley was surprisingly familiar and yet extraordinary. The people cultivated wheat, barley, and pulses, carefully managing irrigation along rivers that crisscrossed their cities. Farmers worked alongside artisans, and the smell of freshly baked bread mingled with the scent of molten metals from workshops nearby. Their cities were alive with skilled craftsmanship, pots of perfect symmetry, delicate beads, finely wrought jewelry, and intricate metal tools. Even children had toys, tiny carts, miniature animals, and figurines, showing that family, play, and leisure were valued as much as work and trade. Hygiene was more than a ritual, it was a cultural principle. Public baths, private wells, and covered drainage systems meant disease was minimized, and the city functioned as a network of health-conscious, organized communities. Equality, community, and cooperation weren't just ideals, they were built into the streets, the homes, and even the smallest details of everyday life.
But here's a question. How did a society so peaceful, organized, and advanced suddenly crumble into mystery? What hidden forces were at play that no king, army, or law could stop? To understand the Indus Valley, you have to follow the flow of commerce. Standardized weights and measures reveal a civilization obsessed with precision, fairness, and efficiency. Markets buzzed with trade, not just locally, but across seas. Mesopotamia, Oman, and the Persian Gulf were all connected to these riverine cities. Lothal stands out as a marvel, a dockyard that controlled tides to allow ships to safely anchor, making it possibly the world's first port designed for international trade. Seals made of stone and bronze weren't just decorative, they served as official stamps for business, identification, and commerce, allowing goods to move with trust across continents. Picture it, bustling docks, merchants shouting across the water, goods stacked high, beads, cotton textiles, pottery, an early global economy thriving thousands of years before Rome or Greece. The Indus people weren't just surviving, they were shaping the first international trading network long before anyone could imagine the concept of globalization. But amidst this sophistication, another mystery lingers. How could such a network suddenly collapse? How do entire trade routes vanish, leaving cities abandoned when once the rivers and ports teemed with life? Perhaps the most tantalizing puzzle of all is their script. Thousands of seals have been discovered, engraved with tiny, precise symbols, possible administrative codes, religious marks, or trade identifiers. And yet, despite decades of study, linguists still cannot fully decipher them. These symbols are often accompanied by images of bowls,
fish, humans, and even unicorn-like creatures, strange hybrids that spark endless speculation. Were they religious icons, royal insignias, instructions for trade, or something far stranger lost to time? No Rosetta Stone exists. No parallel language has been found. Every seal is a fragment of a story we can glimpse but never fully read. It's as if the Indus people left a diary of their civilization, but the pages are written in a code no one alive today can unlock.
Imagine standing in front of a small carved seal, holding it in your hand, knowing it once traveled across rivers, markets, and ports, and contains knowledge that could answer questions about governance, trade, or culture. And yet, it remains silent. So here's the chilling question. If they had mastered urban life, trade, and communication, why could they not withstand the forces that eventually led to their disappearance? For centuries, historians believe the Indus Valley fell to an Aryan invasion, a dramatic, violent conquest. Sir Mortimer Wheeler even imagined cities razed by sword and fire. But modern science tells a very different story. DNA evidence, skeletons, and archaeological findings reveal something far more sobering. The people mostly died natural deaths from disease, famine, and environmental stress. Rivers that once nourished their cities shifted. The mighty Saraswati began to dry, and floods or earthquakes disrupted crops and trade. Ports like Lothal, once bustling with ships, became useless as tides and rivers changed course. Gradually, city after city emptied. The streets that once echoed with children's laughter fell silent. Pause for a moment. Imagine standing in Mohenjo-Daro or Harappa as the waters recede, the markets empty, homes abandoned. A civilization that seemed eternal, slowly disappearing, not by war, but by forces far beyond human control. Nature itself became the silent conqueror. But disappearance doesn't mean erasure. The people migrated east and south, blending into rural communities while carrying their knowledge, customs, and values. Practices we see today, saying namaste, applying sindoor, worshiping people trees or nandi, weaving intricate textiles, can all trace roots back to the Indus. Look at the famous dancing girl statue, a small bronze figure, poised mid-dance. Her jewelry, posture, and confidence hint at a society that valued art, fashion, and women's roles in daily life. These are not relics of a forgotten world. They are echoes of a culture that lives on in our rituals, crafts, and social structures.
The Indus civilization may have vanished from its cities, but it never vanished from history. It shaped subsequent Indian culture, trade networks, and even the DNA of millions. Every time a river nourishes a village, every textile pattern woven, every festival celebrated, it is a whisper from the past. Yet myths persist. Some claim the Indus cities were destroyed by nuclear or atomic blasts. The truth? Stones heated to extreme temperatures were simply used in kilns for pottery. Others try to link the Mahabharata or ancient wars to their collapse, but timelines don't match. These are coincidences, not evidence. Even the few military artifacts discovered, like weapons and chariots in Sanauli, show that while the Indus people had some martial knowledge, their society was largely peaceful. And the Aryan invasion theory? Disproven by DNA. The Indus people are direct ancestors of modern Indians, not outsiders conquered or displaced. History had tried to paint them as warriors, invaders, or victims of war. In reality, they were engineers, traders, artists, and humanitarians. A civilization brought down not by violence, but by the slow, unstoppable forces of nature. The Indus Valley Civilization was a marvel. Cities with straight streets, advanced sanitation, thriving trade, remarkable craftsmanship, and a focus on equality and communal welfare. And yet, even brilliance could not escape environmental pressures. Climate shifts, river drying, floods, and famine gradually dismantled one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient world. But here's the final thought to carry with you. While the ruins may lie buried beneath soil, their influence continues, woven into every Indian home, ritual, and tradition. Their art, technology, social structure, and cultural ethos ripple through thousands of years, quietly shaping the world we live in today. So next time you see a perfectly aligned city street, a flowing river, or a simple greeting of Namaste, remember, somewhere beneath the surface, the legacy of the Indus